Hi, my name is Ryan Edwards, and this is my presentation of my research paper for Supply Chain Management 375. The topic I will be covering today is the cargo theft and the impact it has on the pharmaceutical industry. Now, some things I'm going to dive into further with my presentation is the impact it has, the frequency in which these cargo thefts actually occur, and some things we can go do to actually solve these issues that the pharmaceutical industry is facing today. Cargo theft is an unfortunate inevitability that companies face today. There's always people who are going to be looking to take advantage of the system and figure out how to make a quick buck. That is no different with the pharmaceutical industry, and actually it's one of the more highly targeted areas because of the popularity of the products. Now, the impact of the cargo theft on the pharmaceutical industry is tremendous, and while you might not seem that way, it is so easy to underestimate just how much of an impact it actually has on the industry as a whole. And I know you might be thinking, okay, if something is stolen, then it's easy. Just replace the product. That is the only cost that they actually have. And it's unfortunately not that simple. There are a lot more costs that actually factor into this, such as the lost sales. So you've got to replace the products that you sent. So you're using the products that you were promising one provider, and now you're sending them away to fill those old sales that you had stolen. So you've got to reproduce those. You've lost the sale. Now you've got some potential fallout from the media because you had your product stolen. So you might have to pay for public relations help there. You've got to rebuild your relationships with the suppliers because now you've missed dates and you are not supplied them in the time that you promised. And additionally, if you're in the pharmaceutical industry, you also have to possibly factor in recalls and the destruction and disposal of products, because if these products get out in the open market and they have been damaged or tampered with or altered in any way, then it can be very, very harmful for the public and the consumers. And so keeping public safety first is key. Now, another thing that you might be thinking is that companies absorb these costs, and unfortunately that is not the case at all. They factor in the cost of possibly having cargo theft happen, possibly being a victim of cargo theft. They factor that into their costs and unfortunately pass it on to the end user, which is us, the consumers. All those costs go into whatever already are very expensive drugs, and they factor that in just to make sure that they meet their certain profit levels that they're looking for. And so, as you can see, there's a tremendous impact that this has on the pharmaceutical industry, far from just the lost sale that they might have had. Now, the frequency that it actually occurs is not that often. You would think that since this is such a big deal that it actually occurs much, but in the grand scheme of things, pharmaceutical theft occurrences actually make up a very, very small percentage of the total cargo theft occurrences. However, they make up a large percentage of the actual stolen sales and the amount of dollar values stolen. And that's because the average value per shipment in the pharmaceutical industry is $2 million. That means that if you steal a truck, chances are it's going to have at least $2 million worth of product on there for you. And therefore, it makes it very, very attractive when it comes to stealing it. So you don't need to steal as many and make as much money as you want. So with this, it's not really much risk for these people. They're going to want to continue to steal this product because it's high in demand and it's able to be resold quickly. And those are two of the very high criteria for cargo thieves. They want to be able to steal a product rather easily and sell it rather easily for a lot of money. That is their end game and that is their end goal. And with the pharmaceutical industry, they are able to do that very easily. Additionally, there's not much of a jail time that goes along with cargo theft, unfortunately. It's very weakly penalized and punished, and because the crimes are often nonviolent and have no weapons involved, sometimes they can escape with jail without even getting jail time at all for stealing millions of dollars worth of products, and so it makes it very attractive for these people. Now, there's a lot of things that we can actually do to fix this. There's a lot of precautions that can be taken to ensure that your product is not stolen. At the end of the day, the majority of products are stolen in transit when vehicles are en route from point A to point B. The biggest thing that can be done to fix this is routing, putting trucks going through better positions so that they're not traveling through those hotspot zones where cargo theft is likely to occur. And if you must travel through those routes, spending extra money to employ extra drivers so that the truck is never left unattended, or possibly driver training so that they know how to better properly secure their vehicle and their trucks and make sure they're not stopping in any bad or potentially dangerous areas. And while some occurrences do actually happen at the facility, this is a big, big thing that companies need to note, because you can steal a lot more products from the facility than you can the vehicle in transit. You stand to gain a lot more, as we saw with the Einfeld case in Connecticut back in 2010, where they stole $74 million worth of pharmaceuticals. So investing into the security at the facilities is equally important. Therefore, things like closed circuit TVs, lighting, access control, all these things need to be done to be proper precautions to ensure that your product is safe when it's at the facility. Otherwise, you'll stand to lose millions. Now, as I've covered today, there's a lot that goes along with the cargo theft in the pharmaceutical industries. It has a much larger impact than most people expect. The frequency, even though it's not all that often, can have a tremendous, tremendous damage on the consumer and the companies. And even though it looks pretty pessimistic for these companies, there's a lot that can be done to ultimately save lots of money for these companies. That's my presentation, and thank you so much.